Welcome to the bold analysis, ladies and gentlemen. Today, I want to revisit something that I've been thinking for quite some time. And let me just start by asking, why why exactly do you think Kenya decided to open the Somalian border, our border with Somalia? Why exactly? Do you think what was the rationale behind that? Because for me, there's some very good questions that have been crossing my mind, and my informal talks with some very few people around. And in fact, I posed this question to a former military man, and I asked him, "What exactly are we at a threat? Do we have a threat?" Now, let me tell you, the people in the security sector cannot define the threat profile even of that decision. But what has been questioned is the way it was rushed, whether the decision was had been made before William Ruto came to power, or it was just done within the few months that William Ruto has been in power. And a former military guy a very good friend of mine who currently now works with I think he works with in South Sudan with, I think, UN, yes, was telling me that decision, how in fact he questioned, during Uhuru Kenyatta's time, the decision was to erect a wall. you know, it was to erect a wall, building a wall. For people who have been considering news, you can remember that. But the turnaround from erecting a wall to opening it is something that has shocked many. It happened some few years after a couple of threats to the stability, to the security of the country, some three deadly attacks. But I think since then we've not had any, and we've been peaceful. I think the country has been so much secure. But a mystery on how that was rushed is something that has been attracting a lot of questions. And silently, I know people cannot truly divide more in terms of, and even those who are in decision making table, those who are privy to the security of the country. If you ask them, no one seems to have an idea about the profile. But then there has also been a coincidence that when we're opening, those in the security sector, majorly part of this country, President William Ruto seems to have given the security docket to people from the northeastern area. And for the first time, the NIS, the head of NIS, is not coming from president's backyard. During starting from Jomo Kenyatta, NIS was Kikuyu. During Moi's time, NIS was Kalenjin. And then during Uhuru's time, NIS was Akikuyu. And you could see that's why probably even Uhuru retained Kameru, because Kameru took over in 2014. And then he has resigned this year. So he served the whole term with former President Uhuru Kenyatta. Now, for the first time, almost nearly half, almost 70% of people in the security sector are coming from that end of Northeastern. So, is it a coincidence? What exactly is behind it? I want to look at this factor. This will be a very brief analysis, and I want to break it in three. Allegedly, I've been trying to brainstorm about it, and this is the main reason why this decision seems to have been done. Kindly subscribe to our channel, click the notification bell, and like our video. Yes, Bayern Inter Milan is playing with Manchester City. I am a fan of Arsenal, but having watched a couple of Man City's games, I have a strong feeling that Inter Milan can surprise Man City. I expect Man City to win, but Inter Milan can surprise Man City because That's normally the nature of football. And by the way, I'm vouching for Inter Milan. So if we lose, win, we're going to see how that will be. Why did we open the Somali border? This is it. And let's look at this. When we open the border, it is solving bit of the northeastern equation. If you look at those areas, William Ruto did not gather many votes in those areas. Let's look at it politically first. He did not gather many votes. And the fact that he did not gather many votes there is because Uhuru Kenyatta, I think, was a bit more entrenched. And even the turnout in those areas has never been so much pleasing. The turnout has never been good. And because of that, there is a probability and there's going to be a leeway on how the fellows from the other end might cross over and increase the population on this end. This is not a matter that you can take lightly, because I can tell you the 2027 contest, it will not highly depend on tribal mobilization, but Kenyans may likely vote slightly above the tribal mobilization to look at issues for ground. And I can tell you, mambo imechemka. So those who are looking at Tharaka Nithi, we may be surprised that for the first time, quite a big number of the Kenyan vote basket might come from that region. Because if it is opened, it's going to give a leeway, an easier movement of a voting population from the other end to this country. Now that bit of a voting machine. But today, I was talking to a contractor, and that's when this conversation came up. And that contractor was telling me, and someone can help us confirm that, these houses that are being built, affordable housing started way back. Majority, not even majority, but a big population percentage of those who are occupying these houses are Somalis. Someone told me about that. By the way, think about it. Because we've been asking who is going to occupy the houses we are building, the affordable houses we are building. And I can tell you, this one, just do your research, you realize that where the Somali community are staying, especially the wealthy one, because they have a good potential of entrepreneurship in the country. There's a big potential on their end. They provide a very good market for the affordable housing that we are building. Now, if you think we don't have houses, we don't have those who are going to take up those houses, then just go around easily. Just go around easily. In fact, if you do your research well, you'll realize, and that's what that contractor was telling me, that Kevin, most of you analysts, it was challenging me, most of you analysts are asking, who is going to take up these houses? And it challenged me, telling me that, Kevin, the border is being opened. Somalis are coming here in their numbers. And they've been given, the security dockets have been given to them. So they are more secure, and they have this space, they are more mobilized, and they are the people that will take up these houses. Now, what could have been also behind it is the fact that we want to increase the population of the Somali community in the country, because apart from being a voting bloc, they also are a very good market for the houses we are taking taxes to build. It is not a coincidence. These things are not happening by coincidence, and things are designed. I was highly challenged about that. I've not been thinking along that line. I've never thought about that line, but that came through. And that would have informed why they're there. I don't know. I really need someone to think around it. But something that has largely been spoken about is the supply chain. The stories were done about how there were some illicit transactions that were going on. Immediately, the very first few years when Kenyan army trooped the other end for that operation. So that talk was also there, and there was a lot of commercial interest, commercial transactions that were going on. So probably it's also going to open the supply chain. And it is in the interest because Somalia is getting integrated in the East African community. So it's going to be one of the member states of the East African community. If you look at our neighbors, Tanzania, we have a border in Namanga, and I think the other one in Migori, the other end of Migori, that is Isebania, if I'm not wrong. Then Uganda, we have the Busia border. I think Ethiopia, Sudan, we have Juba. I don't know, we have a border. So we have a lot of other border points, but Ethiopia is also, Sudan is is our trading partner, but we don't have that. We don't have a very good rapport in terms of our border. So this is also to open the supply chain of maybe opening the Kenyan market and also their market here. We will still want to look at it if it's going to be beneficial either way. One factor has been silent. The silence of the security profile. I don't know about it, but that is something that has also remained a concern. However, to me, I'm seeing more of politics and commercial interest. Whether these interests are at the behest of the security concerns, it's something that it's a riddle that we cannot unpack. Thank you.